Me and my wife just got back from the Professional Photographers of America trade show in Nashville, Tennessee. And now what is 43 years of experience in the photography field, I have a few things I want to tell you.
We're going to make you sexy.
So we are at a YouTube
This way just a little bit.
that we're going to get. I don't want to be in it. I'm going to. We're going to get Denise. They're taking Denise's picture with this robot. You can see that. That's very cool.
Don't move.
And we're going to see what it does. I think the first one was a little bit hot. She'll adjust it from there. And we will see. It's very cool looking. She said that she bought the robot. It's her software, but it'll do. You can put. I guess you put an LED on top, so it'll do video. Also, she said. So, and it's AI. So she's going to put a picture of Denise in just a second on the back. All right, there we go. So that's very cool.
Just too sexy for him.
I like that. Can you get that?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Glasses went to sleep, so I'm having to use
What
my
is this
phone.
called?
The software, his name is Bam the Bot.
Bam the Bot.
software is, the name of my company is I See You Photo Booth.
I See You Photo Booth. Okay, I See You Photo Booth, Bam the Bot.
We're going to take that.
This is very cool. This had been out 10 years ago. I could have sat down in a chair and did a wedding and just ran this from a remote control.
I'm gonna tell you, I got a van, and I use my software, my lens. I set up in the van, and I go to this corporation, and they come out and take headshots.
That's fun. That's amazing.
That's it.
I started.
You got it?
Can I print it?
No, I'm not printing. You can print it when you get home. Save your photos. Now it's in your photos.
Cool. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you. That is amazing.
So back in 1983, when I first started photography, I was working at a 1-hour photo lab. I worked myself up into managing 2 companies for the guy that owned it. And then 1987 started our own 1-hour photo lab. And during this time, I was learning to also do photo shoots, weddings, models, that sort of thing. Everything went well. And this, my first camera was a Canon AE1. It wasn't this exact Canon AE1. This camera was my dad's AE1. And this camera, take a good look. I was not allowed to touch this camera because I was only like 10 and he had all kinds of stuff for it. And he's like, don't touch my camera. So I got him back for all that. But he gave me this a while back and I've got my hands on some film. We're going to go do a photo shoot with some film one day when it's not 20 degrees outside. And we're going to see what it looks like and have some fun with some film. But back to the story. So 1987, we opened our own 1-hour photo lab. We were doing slides, black and white, color film in an hour. We had a big printer that could print 20 by 30s. We could do it in 1 hour. And back then, Kodak pretty much dominated. In the late 70s, early 80s, Kodak had 90% of the film sales in the USA. By the time it got to about 1987, they were down to about 75% because Fuji was starting to get their foot in the door, along with Konica and Agfa and some other brands. I never was a huge fan of Kodak. So when we opened our 1-hour photo lab, I used Fuji paper and we sold Fuji film. And I also liked Konica a lot, so we added Konica in with it too. Later, Konica and Minolta merged, and that's another story for another day. But some of you guys may remember when Konica and Minolta had all kinds of stuff out. With the domination that Kodak had back then, going from 90%, dropping down to 75% by 87, there were changes coming. In 1990, we shut down our 1-hour photo lab and went into full-time photography. We're doing in-home glamour photography, traveling. We did like 6 states. We had, I think it was like 39 people helping us, photographers, makeup artists, secretaries, spread out over 5 states. And we did a lot of in-home glamour parties, and we did a lot of weddings. In fact, between like 1990 and 2011, those 21 years, we did tons of weddings. There was a few times we did 4 or 5 weddings in a week. It was crazy. It'd be one on Friday, 2 or 3 on Saturday, 1 or 2 on Sunday. I had people helping me. Of course, I would shoot the beginning of the wedding and the main shots. I would go into another wedding. The photographer would come in behind me and do the reception. So we did a lot. And then when the year 2000 rolled around, trouble was brewing, and digital was on the way. It didn't look like this back then, but digital cameras were knocking on the door, and you could tell they were coming after film. And I made the decision in 2002 that my wife was not real happy about, because it's very expensive to switch camera systems, much less entire way they work. Going from film to digital, we had a local camera store in Atlanta called Showcase. By the way, Dan Glass, if you're watching, good deal. I hope you watched a lot of our videos. He was always helping me a lot. He helped me a lot in my photography career. He was at Showcase. We did a lot of buying and selling from Showcase. But I went down there and I spent tons of money. I filled up a van load of digital equipment, cameras, printers, everything, piled it all up. My wife walks in the door, about has a heart attack, but she's okay. Because had we not gone digital, everybody that was in the photography, had a photography studio or a lab or whatever it was, if they tried to stay with film, they were gone. If you did not go digital, you did not survive. So that got rid of over probably half the people I knew, because most of the people that trained me, I didn't go to college. I learned on my own. I was taught by other photographers. So they were all old school. So they had either retired, or by then they were just not going to make the switch. They were up in age and just didn't want to do it. But I was still young enough. I said, we're going to make the change. So we went into digital, and that changed massively. And I think we're on the brink of seeing another massive change with AI. Now, AI right now, I think we're still watching the mushroom cloud go up. It hasn't settled yet. It's going to settle down, and we're going to see what AI actually can do. Right now, it may be a little overhyped, whatever. Don't really know right now, because there's just too much going on with it. Once in a couple of years, we're going to know, once it settles down, how much it's going to affect photographers. But it will affect photographers to the extent is what we have to figure out. And to what extent can we add it into our workflow, or you guys add it into your workflow? I'm doing YouTube, but you need to figure out a way to work it into your workflow. Don't fight against it. Now, I didn't fight against going from film to digital, and don't fight this. You can't fight change. You need to learn to work with it. A lot of the PPA show, some strange things are going on. Nikon was not there. Sony was not there, or I didn't see them. Panasonic Lumix was not there. I saw Canon had an average size booth, not as big as I normally do, and Fuji had a small booth. Those are the only 2 actual camera companies that I saw set up. Now, B&H and Adorama were there, so I guess Nikon, I was just going to let them sell the cameras for them. But usually, like Canon, they were promoting their new gear and having talks and doing photo shoots, that sort of thing. But companies that had some of the bigger some of the bigger companies that had some of the bigger booths were companies like Godox, who are probably about 10, 12 years old. They have been dominating with flashes and gear. Godox puts out some amazing gear. Newer also puts out some amazing gear. They were there. And by the way, it is pronounced newer. I checked with them, confirmed it. It's not newer, it is newer. So they make some good stuff. A lot. I don't remember if Small Rig was there, but there's a lot of other companies. A lot of the companies in the booths that were there were all about workflow, trying to work in AI with your workflow and go through workflow of your weddings. And there was a lot of that going on. A lot less camera talk and a lot more software, a lot more computer based. When I started, this was the heart of everything, the camera. And it was pretty much the same way with digital. The pictures were the heart of everything. But now it's like, just get what you can with a camera and we'll fix everything on the computer. We'll type in and let AI fix it. And we got to find out where this is going, because it is going to affect photography. I don't know to how much extent, but I firmly believe if you're still doing photography, and I'm not, I'm doing YouTube, but if you are, and you're in the middle of your career, beginning of your career, you need to find a way to work with AI. Don't fight against AI. I think it was odd that, if you go into a big photography show and Sony and Nikon and But those guys aren't there. It's kind of like going to Disneyland and not seeing Mickey Mouse. But it just made me think of, we had the dilemma. Our first photography dilemma was, do we change to digital? We did. We survived. The other half are gone. And now we're going to have another break point, I believe. We're going to see people who try to fight AI and who will probably go out of business. And people who can work in AI for their interest will succeed. And I don't know the answer to that yet because, like I said, we haven't seen the dust settle yet on AI to see where it's actually going to land, what it's going to do, and to what effect it's going to have on photographers. But I believe it's coming. Now, I'm glad that I'm at the end of my career, because maybe it's just because I'm at the end of my career. I couldn't imagine trying to start again with all this going on. I've got it pretty good right now because I've done this for 43 years, and I looked, 49.2% of all of our viewers are between the ages of 25 and 34. That means I've been doing photography longer than over 50% of our viewers. Oh, I feel so old. Listen, guys, enjoy life, enjoy photography. I loved photography and still do. It was the best career in the world. It's a lot of fun. You get to set your own hours, basically. Now, there's stress involved, but there's stress with every job, but there's good money to be made in photography if you do it right. You've got to master your craft. You got to be good with people, and then we got to figure out what to do with this AI. And I'm not going to disappear. I'm staying on YouTube because I still shoot a few things. I've got a few little bitty weddings coming up for some friends that have changed some stuff over the years. So I'm not completely done shooting. I just don't shoot as much as I used to. I concentrate on YouTube now. But being at the PPA show and seeing those changes, seeing the small companies from years ago like Godox now just dominating the show, and not seeing Nikon and not seeing Sony, and it was just strange. And threw me off. I wasn't ready for it because you can always see a list of all the exhibitors that are going to be there. So I looked at who was going to be there, but I didn't look at who was not going to be there. So I didn't notice it until I got there because I took my Lumix gear with me, but they weren't there. So, does that mean anything exactly? Not really, but I do sense there are changes coming in the industry. And you're going to have to be prepared to make some changes. And my advice at this point is to work with AI. Don't do anything drastic right now. Let's see how it settles and see where it ends up. How much of an effect is it going to have on your particular field of photography? I don't see any way AI can replace a wedding photographer just yet. Now, if it's they're at the show, and I think I've got this on a video, there's a robot. They had a robot, and it had a camera and a flash, had a Godox flash on the top. And you can walk up to it and it would take your pictures and it would change your outfits. And I'll show some pictures of that in a minute. My wife did it and we got some crazy pictures of her. I'll run that video I'll get to that at the end of this video, some clips from the trade show. But it's very important. A few things for you guys that are new and only been going a few years. Master your craft, okay? Because some things are not going to change. F-stop aperture is not going to change. Shutter speed is not going to change. And your ISO are not going to change. Those three things are not going to change, whether it's film, whether it's digital, AI is involved, whatever the case. You're going to have to be able to master those things. Master your craft. Learn to work with people. If you're really good with people, that's a good advantage for you. If you're not, work on your people skills, because the margin for error is going to be really thin. You're going to have to be really good, and you're going to have to be ready and make quick decisions of how far you want to go with AI and figure out how much AI you want in. Now, all right, now when I shoot, a few years ago, would have people say, all right, don't make me look younger than I am. I'm 45 years old or whatever, and I want to look like I'm 45. I had a lot of people tell me that. Don't make me look younger. I want to look back in years and know what I really look like. I don't want to look back in 10 years and I look like I'm 16 years old. So there's a lot of people that don't want that. So you're going to have to find the happy medium in here. And right now I can't say it's this or that, but I can say master your craft. Learn your camera inside out. Make the camera gear and the camera work and the camera settings, make all that automatic in your brain so that you don't have to focus on that. Focus on your person that you're dealing with. Focus on your client. Go over and above for your client, because that's what's going to put you in business. Now, your client does not care if you're using Olympus, if you're using Canon. They don't care. They don't care if you got a Godox flash. They don't care if you got a Canon flash. They do not care. They care what they look like in pictures. They care about the service they're getting. I always say this: under promise and over deliver, because that makes people happy. And that should always work, no matter what happens with the AI. But master your craft right now. Don't do anything drastic for the next couple of years. Let's see where AI takes us. Slowly work it into your workflow. If you think that's the way you want to go, work it in there. I wouldn't jump into it and start doing everything AI right now, because some of it, it's just not perfected yet. It will be eventually, and that's when we'll know how it's going to affect careers of photographers. So, I can't say do this, do that, but I can say don't fight it, work with it, learn to use it. But keep your photography skills. Keep working on your photography skills. Master your cameras inside and out. Master how to use your flashes, your LED lights, because you've got other things you're going to be dealing with, and those things need to come automatically. When I get to a wedding, I'm not suddenly trying to decide, do I need to shoot this at f4 or f8? That's just there. I'm talking to people, we're setting up poses, or we're shooting. All this is just muscle memory. All the working on whatever the settings is going to be, that's just muscle memory from doing it for so long. So that's enough of me yapping. I just wanted to share that with you guys. But if you guys have any questions about photography, this is year number 43 in photography for me. I don't know everything. I don't claim to be the best, but I did 43 years of photography, and it was a great career. And I'm willing to help anybody that has any questions. I'm going to run some videos from the trade show, so you can say, there's not a lot of them. There's just a few of them, few clips, few pictures, and a little bit of walking around, probably 2-3 minutes worth, not a lot. I was kind of surprised by the show that I just wasn't ready for the big guys not to be there, I guess. So things are changing, and I can see them changing. Can't exactly figure out what the change is yet, but it is coming. I will survive the film digital. I survived, COVID. We've survived so much stuff that AI, we just need to figure out where it lands, how to add it to our workflow. If you keep your customer service good and keep your clients happy, you will be fine. Okay. So don't worry about that. You don't have to run out and buy the latest, greatest brand new camera. Learn the camera that you got, master it, then move on to another one once you get it mastered. So if you're in your first 8 years or so of your career in photography, like I said, master your cameras, build up your clientele, under promise, over deliver, keep your clients happy. When I had retired basically from photography, I still have people now that don't know that will contact me, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm not shooting anymore. But those people, I've had so many people that we probably did pictures of. I still got some friends from the 80s that we met in a little town south of Atlanta. We shot their pictures, and just a few weeks ago, I was shooting some more pictures from a big company that he runs now. So, keep your clients happy. Make friends with them. I'm not saying you have to go to parties with them all the time. I'm just saying make friends, keep them happy, because that client is worth more than anything. And imagine a client, don't just get as much money as you can from a client for a one-time thing. Don't try to rip them off. To me, I'd give the first client free stuff if I needed to keep them, because over 40 years, that's going to add up. Not only that, but they're going to tell their friends. And that's how you're going to stay in business as a photographer, no matter what AI does. It's still, the ball is going to be in your lap and what you do with it. I'm just saying don't fight AI, and I'm saying don't jump too far into AI right now. See where it lands. So anyway, guys, let's take a look at some of the PPA video that I got. There's not a lot, a few pictures. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I appreciate it. I'm sorry to kind of ramble on this video. I just kind of wanted to bring up to you guys this video, probably not for everybody, but for you guys that are new in the industry. I just want to give you my advice on what I think you should probably do about right now with the changes that are coming through AI and different things. So anyway, guys, I appreciate it. drop a note down at the bottom. I'll be glad to help any of you out any way that I can. If we're helping you out, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let's take a look at some of these PPA videos and pictures. Thank you. Okay, so there's our Fuji booth. I'm gonna walk around to the side where the cameras are. Well, there's a lot of people here. Those are big video cameras. I'll bypass those and go over here to the digital cameras. So here is the S5. Cool little, not sure what that is, but it's some kind of cool setup. So far, I can't find Sony, I can't find Nikon, and I can't find Lumix. I don't know if they're here. I can't find them anywhere. B&H and Adorama are here, but you would think those companies would be here, so I don't know. Viltrox is here. Let me ask Viltrox when they're going to start putting out L mount. Hey, how you doing? When is Viltrox going to start putting out L mount?
L mount.
For Lumix? Soon? Okay.
We're working on it.
Luna. Okay. All right. I'm waiting on them.
Yeah. So probably sometime this year.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Well, that stuff is super expensive when you start looking at it.
I think so.
That's Nikon. That's from a different place.
I was looking at
Here's a lot of cameras and stuff, but I don't see any. KEH is here. I can go see them in Atlanta, but there's their booth. Let's see, they got some film. That many rolls of film, I could probably buy a camera. Stuff's so expensive now. There's some more Fuji. There's a Sony camera. That's the only Sony camera I've seen in this entire show. I just can't believe there's no Nikon and no Sony and no Lumix. Sorry. B&H. Big printers. Like one Canon, yeah. USA.
And then you add that to there, and then you can turn it.
Can you add whatever?
Put that in our bag. There's a girl model right there. She's pretty, but there's too many people in line. Otherwise, I would shoot her picture. B&H has some used stuff. Yeah, it's all beef. You can see Sigma, Z&O. They had a huge booth a few years ago. No worries. Capture One is here. Even Tamron is here. Tamron is here. Tamron.
Do you have any of their lenses?
So here we are. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed in the show this year. I mean, we're missing Sony, Nikon, and Lumix. That's a pretty big three to be missing. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but I've walked around this place. Me and my wife have looked on the directory, and we don't see them. But that's okay. We're celebrating our anniversary tonight, so we will be eating some good food. We're going to a Brazilian steakhouse But this is the PPA show from 2026 Nashville. We're going to go out into the pretty Gaylord Palms.